We're on. Oh, okay. Oh, put your bottles
my
on. Put
bad.
your bottles on.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Hi everybody. Hello. Welcome to the Colorism panel. My name is London Bradshaw. I am out of drag. It is 80 degrees here in Seattle, Washington, and if I have to be in drag later today, I'm definitely not doing it all day. Just a quick heads up. Welcome to the Colorism panel. Again, we're doing some things here. We are talking about racism within the Black community. Because if you weren't aware, it is a thing, and we're here to talk about it. I picked some of my closest Judies. We'll go around the circle and say who we are. So we will start with the lovely, talented. I found them one night randomly streaming, trying to end stream, and then I showed up, and the stream went on for another hour. It's Blaxican. You want to tell people who you are and where we can find you?
Absolutely. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my esteemed, amazing Black accents.
I'm giving a pageant answer right now, girl.
Yes, girl. She's a pageant girl. I'm Blaxican02. You could call me Blaxican, or you can find me at twitch.tv/Blaxican02.
Yeah, awesome. And I see you use any pronouns, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Up next, I want all the hype in the chat. My little sister of my life just graduated school this year. Yes, you, Miss Viper. Hype in chat for Viper for graduating. We love that. Viper, who are you? Where can we find you?
I am found everywhere. I'm found on Instagram, Izokai, twitch.tv/ViperK. I play horror games because I love being scared the absolute mess of myself.
Same.
That's awesome. And I see you, she, her pronouns, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. You look stunning today. Very, I'm glad you did this. Viper texted me a week ago. I was like, I can't be there. And I was like, bitch, you're coming. Thanks. See you then. And now Viper's here. Up next, we have one of my Black Brendas of my life, literally one of my biggest supporters and one of my closest friends on Twitch. It's Aphasia Doesn't Speak. Just kidding. Aphasia Speaks.
Aphasia won't shut up. Hi, Brenda. Hi, partner Brenda.
Hey.
I know we're doing a thing right now. Who's the hype in chat for Twitch's first Black drag partner?
That part.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Look at her. She's glowing.
Right?
Anyway.
My headphones are falling off. My headphones are like, this is a partner. Bye.
Anyway, bitch, enough about you. Back to me. Hi. Hello, once again, my name is Aphasia Speaks, genderqueer Black drag artist here on twitch.tv. Follow me over at the Speakeasy. And I was talking a lot on the Black Lives Matter panel. I'll talk a lot here because I have a lot of opinions. If you know me, you know I got a lot of opinions. So
we're ready for them.
Period. And my pronouns, once again, out of drag, he, she, they, in drag, she, they. Just whatever, it doesn't really matter. Just don't call me out of my name, and don't call me the N-word or bro.
I was like, don't call me bro. You usually say don't call me bro.
Yes.
Up next, Aphasia, you use she, they pronouns, correct?
Yes.
Cool. I'm just going over the pronouns because they are respected here. And if you disrespect them, I do not care if you're my friend or not, you will be banned from this channel. Because that is the one thing we do here during Juneteenth, especially respect Black people and respect pronouns. Up next, to be honest, I'm gagged because I found her on TikTok, one of the most famous Black TikToker cosplayers for DBD ever. And she is stunning. She is fucking funny. Excuse my language. And now she's one of my sister siblings on Sisters of the Fog because I am a part of Stream Queens and Sisters of the Fog. Yes. It's Queen Cup Cosplay. Welcome to the team. Welcome to Twitch, baby.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Queen's Cup. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitch /Queen's Cup Cosplay, or you can find me on TikTok, like also Queen's Cup Cosplay.
Awesome. Welcome in. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you for doing this. And last but not least, when she said that she watches me do makeup, I'm like, girl, I need to watch you do makeup. You are so stunning. And I literally was watching that panel and I was like, can can Hermaphrodita please save some fucking talent for the rest of the drag artists on the platform? So I don't know how I inspired you, but if you want to take my spot, I'll be happy to hand over the black partnership to you, baby, because you're stunning. It's Hermaphrodita. How are you?
I'm good. Well, once again, Hermaphrodita here. You can find me on Twitch and my social media says her_Maphrodita, and my pronouns are she, her. Her especially because part of the name.
Her,
yeah, of course. And London, I do you inspire me because you are the black partner of Twitch. So I have to
period.
Period. So I was
we love that. We love that.
Yes. No choice but to stand.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm hoping that we get more black drag artists partnered. That's the point. That's the plan. It's unfortunate that we had to make it this far with no black drag partners. But without the other drag partners on this platform, I wouldn't be here today. So thank you to if you are a drag artist or you're a partner and you put yourself in the corner of mine, I appreciate you, everybody. But I am London. Yes, the rumors are true. The word has been released. The news presses have been stopped. I am the first black drag artist to be partnered on the platform. Yeah. Why did we wait till 2021? We don't know. But thanks, Dear, for kicking off that partnership in the first place for drag artists. So here we are. But we're here to talk about colorism. So racism in the black community or the POC community itself. Raise your hand if you have been. This is going to be a little sensitive chat subject for us. So if you have any concerns or questions you want to ask, use your point redemptions to ask us questions. If we feel like the panelists, if they feel like they're too uncomfortable to answer them, they won't have to answer them. And while we're here, we're doing a couple giveaways for Mid-Boss. Thank you, Mid-Boss, for sponsoring the Stream Queens Juneteenth event. So if you do !2064 in chat, you can enter that giveaway. So I appreciate you do that while we're here. But back to this panel. Raise your hand if you have been somewhat, I wouldn't say victimized. Like
I'm Regina George.
Hi, I'm Regina George. But Faye's just trying to say that I'm a bitch. But Queen's like, well, to be fair, just kidding. Raise your hand if you've ever experienced colorism in the world that you live in. Raise your hand.
100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so perfect. always.
Yeah.
So my first question is, what do you know about colorism, and what is it like? How do you define colorism yourself as a human? What do you think that means? And I'm here to educate the people who don't know what that means. And I'd like to hear it from all of you, which is why I originally had you. So we'll start with Blaxican.
Yeah. So colorism for me, as a whole, I feel like almost identity is like automatically assumed by the color of somebody's skin. Within the community, I feel like it's almost who's better and who's not just because of the color of their skin. So for me, it's that like, don't judge a book by its cover, and get to know that person. You just because they look a little bit more brown than you, or maybe they might be a little bit lighter than you. Like, you get to know the person. Like, don't bag on them, don't trash on them, don't assume anything. Like, that's a beauty to me, to humanity. You get to learn about other people, and instead of just casting judgment just because of how they look.
Yeah. Viper, how do you feel about colorism? What is it? How do you define it in the world that you live in?
That is a good question. How I define colorism?
Thank you, Alex, for the question. I'll take what is colorism for 500.
How I define colorism is that sometimes some people may think that because of your skin color, aka if I'm like lighter than somebody, they think I'm going to be more superior than them because, you know, I'm a little toasty, you know, just slightly a little toasty. And I think it just, they have this source of like, I should say ignorant sometimes because it can come off like really bad against other people who are lighter than them and who are darker than them.
Yeah. Um, Aphasia. I know you have a lot of things to speak about.
I have so many things to say. Well, for me personally, being a dark-skinned Black person, like my whole life, I have experienced colors. I didn't know what the words to use. What there's a term for it until like I honestly got into college, you know. But like for me, it's been like a constant like uphill battle between even like my own family members who are like lighter skin tone and just like even other dark skinned Black people will make fun of other dark skinned Black people. I'm just like, why? Why are we doing this? You know, like whatever. But that's beside the point. I'll probably touch on that later. But like to me, it's just like another way for people with power to oppress another set of people, and it's just like it's constantly going down because that's what we see in the world. Is like the more fair toned you are, the more desirable you are. You know, and that has been a big struggle of mine my whole life. So it's very important to me, and I constantly try to show more dark-skinned people, like say, hey, this person, their skin is beautiful and it's dark and you can't deny that they're flawless, you know. So I don't know, it's a very personal thing for me, but like, yeah, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I always think of the like when Black people dog on like light skinned boys, like we're like, oh, you're dating a light skinned boy, like that comment always gets made, and I'm like, is that a bad thing? And like people like make fun of that, and I'm like, does it matter? Like you know what I mean? So I always think of that in the back of my head, which made me want to originally like bring this panel to life because I was like, let's talk about racism in the Black community because we're already fighting racism from people who are white. So like, let's talk about us fighting each other because that shouldn't be a thing. Queen Cup, what do you feel like? What do you feel? How it defines like? How do you
Well,
define it?
personally, and like I grew up in a pretty segregated neighborhood, so I was always the darkest kid on the block. Um, Everybody who went to my school at the time was always fair skinned, which made me think that I was on the bottom simply because I was darker than the rest of them. One person even said, I don't have good hair. She has good hair when she's fair skinned and her hair is wavy and longer than mine. So I always thought, well, they must not like me because my skin is dark. And it was just other people. I didn't know. I mean, now I see that there's nothing wrong with me and that's just their way of thinking, but it was hurtful. I didn't get to play kickball because my skin is darker than the other girl who did. People suck.
That part. They
That
can,
part.
yeah.
Or just hurts.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you can play kickball, and I'll try not to. I'll pick you first, and I'll pick myself last. You know.
Oh no.
And if anybody doesn't have enough points in the chat, I see that people are trying to get questions going. If you don't have enough points, you can just ask the question. I'll try to get to it if I notice it. So we want to hear from you, and we want to know what your opinions are. The chat. Well, we don't want to hear your opinions. We just want to hear your questions. We want you to hear ours. Sorry. Hold up a second. It's Juneteenth. And for Hermaphrodita, this is a question for me. Please, if I sound ignorant, I apologize. I wanted to reach out to you before the panel, but I've been busy. But do people in Colombia celebrate Juneteenth, and how and what is the colorism like in a country that's not America?
Yeah. What we don't specifically celebrate Juneteenth, but we have something similar on October. That it's like Dia de la Raza, which is like we celebrate, which is like the race, the day of the race. We celebrate Black people and Indigenous because you know the whole Latin America here is about being like the mix of being Indigenous and Black. Specifically, we have by October, and I don't have the day specifically, but that was the time where like a lot of the slaves started like retiring to places in Colombia that resonate to their home. So that's like where they were free. They were already free at some point, but they weren't like free to go somewhere else. So they started like taking over some places in the country that like resonate to their families, to their homes, to like the weather was similar to where they were in Africa and stuff like that. So they're like specific places here in Colombia where like a lot of Black people like or we come from. But and that's when it goes to the colorism that I suffer like a lot here. Because in my case is a little bit like it's not about like if I darker or like lighter color. It's about where you're from, where you're raised in Colombia or like in this region, because we grew up with like different, like more, I'm a city girl. So it's like I was raised in the city. I have different accents and different beliefs that many of the communities, like Black communities that stay in their place. So for me, when I go to visit my family or something like that, I'm always like kind of not welcome there because I'm like not Black enough for them because it's not like I didn't grow up as the community and as like believing in many things or knowing how to do many things. So I'm like, even here in the city, when like a lot of Black people move to the city or to the city that I'm from, they only stay in the same neighborhood. I live in a different neighborhood. So it's like, if I go to that neighborhood where all the Black people are, I'm not welcome. Like, seriously, they're like, what are you doing here? You're not from this area. And I'm like, well, I just wanted to do my braids, let's say, because let's be honest, that's like the best place for me to get it. And they like there been times where they don't let you in because you are not Black enough for them, even though like you can look dark, light, whatever, but it's just that you didn't grow up with the culture and community that they know. So it's like basically you're not the Black person that they like, or not the idea of Black people that they have. You're just like, they always call me like in Spanish, like a fake Black. And I'm like, that there is no such a thing as being a fake Black. And like, what you mean? And it's just like, yeah, because you're from the city, your accent is different. Because like things for me of like, I speak English and because of many things that I've done. And a lot of people are like, want to be like you want to be an outsider, you don't care for your community. So the colorism that we suffer here is more of like a lot of people want to stay true to being Black, but at the same time it's like there is no such a thing of being like a true Black. It's just like we all can be different parts. But yeah, we have like our own special day for the race or Dia de la Raza, and we do suffer from a lot of colorism here, especially because people don't really know. Like they always categorize you like either you are a Latino or you're a Black person. So it's like kind of you can't be both, which is stupid because one has nothing to do with the other. So yeah.
Yeah.
The way
People.
the way like mine in London's face just said,
Oh yeah.
you said you're not Black enough. I was like, I have
You
heard
said
that. If
fake
I had a
Black?
dime for every time I heard that,
Same.
Fake
Literally
Black.
I wouldn't be on
Same.
Twitch.
Oh,
I'd be rich.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally same.
Fake Black? I was like, I almost ended the stream right there. I was like, we gotta
Yeah,
go. Like,
you said
we gotta end the
God.
stream right there.
Well,
And this is why I like you on this panel, like having you, because like you are Black, and so like it's always like we're all most of us are in America, and you are in a different country, and it's just really cool it's really interesting to hear about things like that because racism happens in other countries, and people are so intertwined with what's happening in their current country that they don't see what's happening outside their country.
mhm.
And then when we get
Yeah.
on Twitch, we're just like happy-go-lucky, like we don't experience these things in our daily lives before. Like I could get called a really negative word before I get on Twitch, but I have to get on Twitch and be happy, you know what I mean? So we don't see these things outside. So this is why
Okay.
I want to do this panel. And Blackskin,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but what were we gonna say?
No, so it's in my name, Blaxican. So I'm Black and Mexican. So
Yeah.
I relate with you very well. I'm not Black enough to be here, but I'm not Mexican enough to be here. So that is literally, this has been since I was in high school. I was like, you know what? I'm not black. I'm not Mexican. I'm Blaxican. So that's why I identify on all platforms, media platforms, as Blaxican, because people need to know I am both, and I'm good enough to be in whatever race I am of. So I'm black.
Yeah.
I am Blaxican.
Does
Period.
anybody know? Does anybody know what other race I am? I think Aphasia might know.
Oh, I know.
Maybe
It's
someone
another
knows.
answer.
Who knows what other ethnicity I am? I'm two. I'm black and something else. I am
I
black and
can't.
Dominican. I'm black and
Oh,
Dominican. So
okay.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
So like
same.
when
Ooh.
like,
You know.
yeah. So I'm like, when people are speaking Spanish in front of me and they're like, oh, they don't know, and I'm like, oh, actually, I do know because I speak black. I speak black.
I speak black.
I speak English.
Partner
I
Bradshaw has been
Black.
canceled.
Okay.
Partner Bradshaw is canceled.
I speak English. I speak
She lasted
English.
just a little longer
Oh
than the other
my
person,
God.
but you know what? It had to happen.
Bradshaw said, "Move, I'm black."
Yeah, move. I speak black. Happy Pride Month. No, I like. I'm black and Dominican, so I speak 3 languages, or I understand 3 languages. I speak English, Spanish, and Creole, and so like.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm like, y'all didn't know, so don't like when people come to my chat and they're like speaking a different language. I'm like, I know,
Because
I
you're
know. I
Bitch,
see
I'll let
it.
you have it.
Yeah, I see it. But I also speak 4. I guess I speak black now. So
Yeah.
That's what we call ebonics.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
It is what
Yeah.
it is.
Really quickly, so we can move on with some questions before we run out of time, because we could go off into a different dimension and people wouldn't understand where we were going.
Yeah.
So when I asked this question of when did you realize colorism and racism, I was tired when I wrote this question, existed in the black, wow, I'm so sorry, y'all, existed in the black community. Like, was there an experience? Hermaphrodita, you explained your experience with your family. Does anybody else have any? I mean, also like Queen, you explained a little bit of your experiences. Does anybody have experiences of where they were like, wow, colorism exists?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Does anybody want to
Yeah.
talk about those experiences?
Queen, you can go first. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you go first. You good?
Oh,
Beauty? Go ahead.
okay, yeah.
I
Okay.
love
I got a beautiful
So,
smile on you, by the way.
so like I said, I'm pretty dark, right? And I love my dark skin. My mom is dark skinned. My whole mom's side of the family are pretty dark skinned, right? My mom was from New York, okay? And my dad's side of the family is from like Southern California, like Texas area, right? So my aunt, when her first marriage, she had 2 kids, right? And her husband at the time, her ex-husband, is pretty light skinned. And so she's also kind of light skinned. So her two children, her first 2 kids came out pretty light. Okay. Then she remarried and then had her youngest daughter, which is my closest aging cousin, with her new husband, and he's dark. And so my cousin came out darker than her 2 siblings. And so whenever they'd come over here to Vegas every single summer, and whenever we would go out, people wouldn't think that she is their sibling because she's darker than them. They would think that like she is my brother's siblings, like my mom's daughter, and like no, these are her 2 kids and her, like there's all 3 of her kids together. And my whole childhood growing up, they would just berate her for being darker. And I'm like, but I'm literally sitting right next to her and we're like the same shade, so why are you saying the same thing to me?
Yeah.
It's like you are berating your younger sister for being darker than you. And like that developed to giving her like some like honestly a complex. Was so aware and self-conscious of at a young age because her 2 older siblings would not shut up about it. And so I'm like, well, damn, like what's going on here? So like that's like the earliest thing I remember of colorism happening and like me seeing it, and I was like, yo, this is a real thing. And then it's like I watched Black comedies growing up in the 90s, and they would always like, no, not even that, like Tyler Perry movies, they always vilify the dark-skinned Black man, and you have the light-skinned savior coming to take the girl away. It's all the time. And I'm like, first of all, Tyler Perry's movies and plays are like whatever. It's for church people, it's not for me. But I'm just like, why are we making the dark-skinned guy the bad guy? You know? Why is this a thing?
I mean, why do Black people die first in movies? That's the question that I've been asking myself since I was a child. So
they don't have to pay them as much.
that actually, I think, was a thing in Hollywood. They didn't want to pay Black people as much. But we can get on a different topic. That is a media topic that we can discuss personally on a different subject. But yeah, just a heads up. Just a heads up in chat. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask. These people have a lot of opinions on this panel, specifically Phasia. But no, that's
just follow me on Twitter. I'll say everything else I didn't say here or there. Okay.
So true, bestie.
I got a 4-hour car ride ahead of me. I got lots of thoughts.
Not a 4-hour car ride. Queen, what were you gonna say?
The first time I was actually aware of colorism, you've heard this story already, but I wanted to be Snow White. I was 8 years old, and she had always been my favorite princess. I just thought she was the prettiest thing. She could talk to animals. Who didn't want to talk to animals when you're 8? Mm-hmm. So I convinced my mom to buy me the Snow White cosplay or costume, because I'm 8. Cosplay didn't even turn. But she braided my hair the way Snow White's hair would have been braided at the time. And I go to school for the Halloween event, and I'm Snow White. Some of the kids, they were kids. They're just like, oh, look, Snow White, I'm Darth Vader. There was this one teacher who was a Black teacher who came up to me, and that was the first out of all the adult comments. They said, you should have never worn that. You cannot be Snow White.
To an 8-year-old?
I'm 8.
To an 8-year-old who's just trying to live their best princess life.
And like, there's an adult here, and then on top of that, they were the first people to actually drop the.
Let us say I gotta go.
Where are you going?
She was just mad she didn't get kissed by the prince. That part.
So like, they were the first one, because as I was walking away, kind of like confused. Yeah. They were the first one to mumble under their breath the N-word and then add white at the end of it. I was like 8-year-old me was just mind blown that an adult would say, we weren't allowed to say that in my house. So like, here it is at school by a teacher, nonetheless.
Yeah.
And it started a whole like other slew from other adults as well. It just sucked. But that was the first time I've ever really, truly experienced it. It makes me emotional every time.
That's so horrible.
I'm sorry you had experienced that.
Oh,
that's
okay,
such a young age.
Oh, it's
people.
Like I said, people. That school sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
there's someone else. Like we gotta.
You love, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna move on. Does anybody else have any experiences that they're willing to talk about?
Something. Oh, go ahead. I already said my part. So.
No, you both can speak. You both can speak if you want to.
Yeah. At the same time.
At the same time. Viper, go ahead.
When I was younger, so here's the thing. My dad's Black, and my mom, she is as toasty as me. And, I just graduated from school, and there were these 2 guys that were like, oh, like, I've seen your parents. So how come your brother is darker than you and you're lighter? And I was like, what do you mean? And they were legitimately asking if my mother was like my real mom. Because wow. I'm light.
Yikes.
And because my brother is darker than me.
People are so
They didn't think that we were siblings. And like, I was like, are you for real? like black people come in different shades, and you're gonna ask me if me and my brother are real like blood siblings. Only because he's darker than me. Like I never understood that. Like I was appalled.
That's so
It's embarrassing.
so ignorant. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
I had a
literally.
similar story happen as well because my brother is high yellow, as my parents like to put it.
Oh,
Like, he was high yellow. I don't know, whatever. And like, he didn't look like me or my other brother because he's so light. And even now, if we stand next to each other, they're like, "That's not your brother." And I'm like, "That, yeah." So I feel this
Kitty.
cat. Oh, okay, all right. We're just gonna. It's fine.
okay.
I want to see the cat. Show us the kitty.
Oh my God. How you doing?
Then Kim Radimus said, "I'm here now.
I'm black too. I'm here.
This is my panel.
The cat has some things to say.
Let her
Hermaphrodite,
speak."
Hermaphrodita, what were you going to tell us?
Yeah, I had an experience. It's kind of like funny now, but at the moment, like I didn't know the term colorism until like a year or two ago. For me, it was just like, is this black people being racist against me? Because it feels weird, but I didn't know exactly like what it was. But one time I went to a club, and the club is well known here in the city because like it's like just black people. So I wanted to go there because I'm like, this is where people know how to dance. Like, no offense, but like this is where everything is like. So I wanted to go there, and I went there with some of my family members. And my family members, they went in the club, and when I was there at the door, they're like, you can't go in. And I was just like, why not? And they're like, well, but because this is for like different type of black people. And I was just like, what do you mean? Like, I don't understand. My cousins were here visiting, like they're darker than me. They're more like the true black, as they will call it. So for me, I was just there like, but I want to go in. Like, yeah, but you're not, like, you don't look like, we don't know you. You're not the type of person who should be here. Like, you don't look like the girls from these certain places. And I was just like, okay, like I noticed everyone in that club knew each other from the neighborhood, from the town stuff. Like no one knew me, but at the same time, I was there like, you cannot tell me I can go in a club for black people because I'm not black enough for you. Like I do not understand. I was just there like, I honestly couldn't understand. And like I had no choice but to leave because they were not going to let me in, and I was not going to cause any drama. But like to see in that moment, I was just like, is this like black people being racist with me? Like, am I not black? What is happening? Like in that moment it was just so weird because it made me question a lot of like my heritage, and like, yes, I'm black and maybe I'm dark skinned, but like maybe I shouldn't be calling myself black. Maybe I should be, because there is a term for people here in like in Colombia that are like lighter skin, but now I know it's offensive because they assume black is bad, and then they use another term. And I was just like, oh, maybe I should be calling myself that instead of calling myself black because apparently I'm not black enough. So it made me question a lot of things. But now I know it's like that was wrong, and that was actually colorism, and it hurt. But just at the moment, I didn't know why it hurt and like what was happening. But now I understand it, and yeah, that's my experience.
I'm so sorry you had to go through that. That is not fair to you at all. Can
Yeah.
you get down? Can you just...
We've hit almost every question in chat that I've gotten to write out. But I'm trying to be light enough to ask this question without I pre-warned everybody that I don't want to talk about a certain situation, but so let's not talk about that certain situation. But does colorism happen to you all on Twitch?
Not so much on Twitch. On TikTok, though. Yeah.
Not on Twitch.
Okay, well, does
for
then
me.
colorism happen on social media for you?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
social media, yes. I can say fortunate enough. Colorism, no.
Colorism, no.
Same.
Yeah.
No.
Colorism, no. Okay, that's good.
No.
That's good.
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram.
Shit.
Fully.
How does it happen to you on TikTok, Queen?
I get a lot of people. It actually goes back into cosplay because I cosplay both Claudette and I cosplay Elodie. But people keep telling me that I should cosplay Elodie because I look more like Elodie than I do Claudette. I don't personally see it. I guess it's when my hair is down and when it's wild. They're like, "Oh wow, you're such a cat. You're such a beautiful Elodie. You should do more Elodie cosplays." And I'm like, but Claudette is my comfort character. I actually have a little garden and everything because I do gardening and Claudette's my life, precious girl. But it happens. So I get so many DMs of people just saying you should stop cosplaying Elodie or stop cosplaying Claudette and just do Elodie more because you look like her more than you do Claudette. And I'm like, cosplay. Just let me.
It's cosplay, bitch.
Cosplay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna cosplay Meg for a whole week just to spite you. It's fine.
Yeah.
Not cosplay Meg. Are you gonna throw yourself against the cop car?
Right? I was gonna say against the cop car, get yeeted across the map.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. We got this.
That makes me so happy. I don't skip the intro anymore. I just watch her get yeeted. I'm like, okay, I'm good. Whatever. Anyway.
Makes me sad actually. But
yeah. I mean, it doesn't make me sad.
A whole other story.
I hate Meg. Anyways, moving right along. We are not going to talk about that subject. Someone, I think Tori Ray, excuse me while I pull up this question. Where'd it go? Tori_Ray, what do you wish more non-POC knew about the fight on colorism? Okay. I'm going to let anybody take this. Before we do this question, did anybody have any other things they want to talk about social media and colorism on social media? No. Okay.
No.
What do we...
I actually do. If you don't like it, just keep scrolling.
Period.
Yes.
Period. Also, if you're white and someone is colorism's happening, feel free to not step in, like sit back, and it's not your war. This week, someone had a question about this event itself, and a person not Black stepped in to respond about something, and I addressed only the Black person that was asking the question and not the white person. So if you are not a person of color and you decide to defend a friend and feel like you need to step in about something, know that the Black people are going to talk to each other and your questions are going to go unbothered and unnoticed. Do not address me. This is not a conversation between you and I. It's a conversation between the Black people. Yes. Before we get to the question that was asked, we're going to pull a giveaway in 3 minutes. If you want to win a copy of Mid-Boss, a copy of Read Only Memories Deluxe Edition, 2064. Even anybody on this panel can enter 2064 in the chat for Mid-Boss. They're giving away games. Please. We have a lot of those that we're giving away. Yeah. I'll give you 10 seconds to go. Type 2064 in the chat.
I'm in.
I'll do it. Yeah, type 2064. Look at all these people typing 2064. Where were you all an hour ago? Hello? Type 2064.
It's when it comes down to the wire, everybody's like, maybe I will get
it.
I need everybody to type 2064. Literally, Chalora's gonna lose it. Okay, so how do non-POC people fight the fight of colorism?
This is a very, I don't know how to answer this question. Someone else, please go.
Respectfully, someone is respectfully asking, before we continue, someone's respectfully asking the question of how non-POC people fight the fight of colorism. Queen, you can go, and then
I want to say before, this is I've seen some of my friends fall into this all the time. The whole good hair thing. All hair is good hair. All hair is good hair. I've actually followed a streamer. I had to pull him aside and be like, you know where that actually came from? That came from slavery times of white women actually. Well, when a Black woman was being raped by a slave master, a white woman would say, well, they have such gross hair and we have good hair. That's literally where that came from. And in 2021, people are still saying, you have good hair. You have good hair. And it's like, I had to pull people aside. Please, all hair is good hair. 100%. So that should be the first thing.
Whether you got a lot or a little bit, or maybe a little crooked like mine, all hair is good hair.
All hair is good hair. That's
That hair said, I'm a little.
Is that hair? You know.
Oh, my hair is a lot. Like, yeah. But I mean, to answer to the question, respectfully, I would say I don't think it's your fight to fight. If you're not like a non-POC person, it's not your fight to fight. Like, I would always, if some other Black person is doing like colorism against me, I would like address that person. I will talk to that person. Like, I will make it something between our community to help others understand why it's wrong and why those terms shouldn't be used. It's the same thing. Like, it's very simple. I think when I encounter colorism and I explain it to people why it's wrong and like, why you shouldn't be saying these things, and I compare it to racism and like how much we both suffer, so we shouldn't be fighting something so stupid. Most of the people understand. Like, most of the Black people that have the same issue with racism, they understand why colorism is wrong. So I don't think a non-POC person should be fighting this, because it's not for you to fight. It's between our community to discuss it, for us to like educate others, and then all of us understand, because we endure and we suffer together. So like, you should step out and then let us handle this one. Like, I think for me, that's how it should be. I don't think non-POC people should be fighting colorism.
I think it would be a good idea for them to actually educate themselves on what colorism is.
I was literally
Whereas,
going to say that.
oh, okay.
So they can identify it. It's
Yeah,
like, oh,
no,
this
that's
isn't
all right.
Even
No,
if you don't
continue,
feel
continue.
like it's your fight, you should definitely like learn about it, because you may have somebody who is going through it. And a good way to show support would be not obviously starting a internet war with somebody who is against colorism, but would be to stand with the people who are on your side. Like, coming to the stream is a great way to show support. Talking with us and learning about it is a great way to show support. Even if you're not fighting a battle, you're still here standing with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I feel like for somebody who's non-POC, and this just goes for anything, everything should start with an open heart and an open-minded conversation. And so, and that goes off of what you were saying, like, I feel like any and everybody should be allowed to be educated. But you, like I said, but you have to have an open heart, an open mind, and just you go from there. You express things that have happened to you, tell people where you come from, like in certain situations, as long as it comes from a place of love. But if it feels like it's getting a little like, not, I don't want to say aggressive, but like you can kind of see like a little pushback, I feel like then at that point maybe it's time to move on, and they can look elsewhere for more education.
Yeah, like I agree with everything that has been said. It's like I would want someone to acknowledge and see that this is happening, but unless you are a part of that community, it's not really, like Linda said earlier. Like, if I see some comments on a Twitter thread that some white person said, I'm not gonna pay them no mind. So I'm like, you can say all these things you want, but you're not in the thick of it, you know? Not so they have that fucking TikTok song stuck in my head now. But
No, I do too. I was like, that's why I started.
it's the thick of it.
Oh my god, not that again.
But yeah, it's like how the same way, if it's like, okay, I have a white friend, right? And they were in the midst of the whole Trump campaign and his presidency and the whole Black Lives Matter that blew up again last year. He was just like constantly arguing with his mom about everything, and I'm just like, they're like, oh, like, can you say something? I was like, this is not my fight. This is, I can say all I want, but she knows where she stands. It is now you to educate your fellow white people about what's going on. Because I can only say so much. We have been yelling at the top of our lungs for hundreds of years in this country, and it still falls on deaf ears. So the only way people are going to change it, people in their own community say, hey, we're holding you accountable now. We see what's going to happen. So the same thing needs to happen to us in our own communities. Like, hey, this is our fight internally, you know, like we have to acknowledge that this is a problem. It's been going on forever, and it's just branching off from the racism that we, like I said earlier, that we experience to oppress other people to make ourselves feel better. Because with the whole back in slave times, it was like you have the field workers. I'm not gonna say it, and then you have the house workers, and the house workers were the ones that are more presentable and more less. I don't want to say the word aggressive, but you know what I mean, like less. They were lighter, and so they worked in the house. The only reason they were lighter is because they were bastardized children from slave owners taking advantage of Black women. But that's a whole other thing that we have talked about. I can talk about again another time. But it's just like it's just not your fight at the moment. I would like support, but support from the sidelines. Talk to me. Don't go out there, say something on the internet, because then you're gonna get clapped somewhere as well. I'm just saying, whatever.
On a different note, crown it, Blaxican. Now you on this panel with your giveaway at the same time.
Literally giving the giveaway.
I'm a winner, baby.
Yes.
But no, I definitely there was that stigmatism back in the yeah, it's hard not to say the word of educational purposes. The slavery days where there were two types of workers, which is
inside and outside.
Yeah, inside and outside workers. That's what we'll call it. But I think that's also how do I say this nicely? Because I am somewhat trying to respectfully say this nicely. Is also like if you're not a person of color and you want to help the fight, support the Black people in ways like listen to them first. One of the things that I experienced, and I will say it how it is, I won't name names, but if you know, you know. I said in February, when I reached a certain amount of followings on Twitch, that I was like, I would like to be the first Black drag partner. And then I realized, that I wanted to do it, but then I had other friends who were like, I want to be a drag partner too. So I was like, one of us needs to be the first Black drag partner. It doesn't need to be me. It just needs to be one of us. Because that will change the game completely. Cool. Yes. And then someone had spoken up and said, well, why don't we have more Black drag partners? Why are all the drag partners white? And I wanted to really react to that person and be like, well, where are you? You're not on my channel. You're not on any of these Black people's channels. So if you're going to fight the fight, stop performative activism, because that's the number one thing that people need to stop doing, to say that how do we support? So performative activism, we could go on and on and on about the amount of people that performatively act on social media to support Black Lives Matter.
For sure.
So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. The tea is lovely today. Show the fuck up.
Hold on, I just got real thirsty. Hold on.
Yeah, anybody need some tea? We're gonna take a tea moment real quick.
It's like
I got lubricate.
I have coffee though, but it's tea.
Kool-Aid.
It's tea.
Oh, not this.
Okay,
but I'm serious. Like performative activism.
I get it.
Not this.
Nice coffee.
But support people of color. If you're gonna say that if you're gonna say, why aren't there more Black partners on Twitch? Where are you? Where are you at? You need to be in their chat. Twitch isn't gonna give it to them unless they have the support. And you are gonna say that you're gonna support them, and be there to support them. Don't say you're not there. You know what I mean? Like,
don't go around saying, oh my God, I love this person's stream so much. They're so great, and then not retweet going live tweets. Not tweeting, oh my God, this has happened. Not like giving just like share the content. Like send, bitch, I don't care if you clip the stupidest thing in my chat. As long as you're saying, oh my God, this happened tonight. This was so fun. Boost Black voices. Like that's literally what it takes.
I mean, like,
to,
at least
push people
lurk.
forward.
Yeah, lurk and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I don't want to hear one thing that does hurt my feelings is like, and this is like, it's a very common fact. Like, don't support one Black person and not support the other Black people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're like, I'm going to support London, but I'm not going to support this person because I don't know them. I know them, and I know that you need to go support them because I fucking said so. So, like, that's why we're doing Juneteenth, and that's why we did Reclaiming My Time in February. Like, don't just support one person, support another person, you know? And, like, if you are Black, make sure you're supporting your Black siblings. Like, I got called out last night in the middle of the night because I heard someone laughing on my head.
We saw
I
you
heard someone
tweeted it,
laughing. I know I should have tweeted it. But no. Someone else asked a question. Moving on. But did you want to say anything about how people not of color can show up to support?
Well,
Piper's about to snatch the rest of this question. Piper's like literally like this. Well, today we
opens the book. Wow.
Yeah.
Grabs the glasses.
mean-
She's like,
Well,
listen. If you're out there saying, "Oh, there aren't enough Black creators," there are plenty of Black creators. You're just not taking the time or the effort to do your research to see other creators. And not only that, like what you said, London, supporting one Black person, it doesn't really mean anything. It definitely does hurt other people's feelings if they're only supporting you and not the other person because you don't know them. You get what I'm saying?
It's the same thing as saying, "Oh, I have a Black friend already."
oh my god.
Literal
Is this-
thing.
Oh my god.
Thing. Not already?
I cannot. I cannot. No, I can't even count that. I won't.
No.
Like, it's the equivalent to that. It's like, if you don't support one Black person because you're supporting one already, bitch, you support all these white people. If you can support Taylor Swift and all of her bitch ass albums, yes, I said it. Okay.
Oh my
She said what she said.
Singing the same damn thing every fucking album. You can support more than one Black person. Period.
Yeah. Well, see, okay. I don't like when the world people saying, "Oh, there's not enough Black content creators," just content creators in general. But baby, I see you on TikTok. I see you on Facebook. You're recreating what Black content creators have came up with themselves and making it your own. And that is not supporting, because you didn't do that to support. You did that because you thought you could be that one. You could be that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So to hear that, like, oh, like non-people of color say, "Oh, there's not enough Black content creators." Girl, I saw your TikTok. You attempted the dance.
Attempted is the key word.
Yeah.
And here you are flailing about. Anyways, you know what?
Queen Cup literally took herself off mute because she almost had she is a TikTok. If y'all don't know Queen Cup cosplay, listen. A famous Black cosplayer on TikTok doing the Lord's work for the rest of us.
Yes.
And I'm sure you experience a lot. I'm glad that you're on Twitch.
That actually, the moment he said something about recreating videos, I've had so many of my content or of my videos stolen and shared, and I have not been tagged in any of them. Like none of them. So
Respect
I
the
feel
artist,
this.
people. Just respect the fucking artist, people. Like,
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
But
That's
like
literally.
Well, like, this shit has been happening ever since Black people had a voice. Like, oh, I'm gonna make this kind of thing. Here comes a white person. I stare at Elvis stealing everything from Black people. Half of the shit that goes on today are stolen from Black people as well. Is that we don't want to talk about it because, like, oh well, we just getting used to it. No, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. When I saw that white girl, sorry, we're super off the colorism topic right now. But when I saw this white girl was like Jimmy Fallon doing all these TikTok dances
Oh my god.
and doing them horribly, and then not crediting the correct people who made these dances up, which are people of color, on Jimmy Fallon.
I'm gonna order some food. Does anybody want anything? Like Jesus, Aphasia, you are dragging people left and right today.
I don't care. It's motherfucking. If you're gonna cancel me in Juneteenth, bitch, that you better be motherfucking prepared.
First off, not Jimmy Fallon. Literally not Jimmy Fallon. Anybody
Yes.
but Jimmy. Not Jimmy!
Oh my God.
Welcome in, Raiders. How are we doing? Thanks, Ria Bell. Appreciate that. Welcome in, the Raiders. If you're just tuning in, we are on a colorism panel talking about the racism in the Black community. We appreciate your support and love. Again, reparations in chat. If you want these people to get paid today, we can't guarantee a lot, but a little bit goes a long ways for everybody who's involved today as well. There's another question. If I could get a time check really quick as well while I look up this question again. Jazzy Jazz has, so this is respectfully.
Do it, cat. I swear to God.
Oh, and another thing. Actually, hold up a second. And another thing.
Man.
I feel like if you have, I have to say this is very off topic. If you
We all
have,
got, oh shit, okay.
since it's
hold on.
Juneteenth, and another thing, if you have something that you think that you need to involve Black people in, you need to involve them. So things like showing the movie Paris is Burning when you are not a person of color or a trans person, please involve people of color, because that is our movie to explain our education of what needs to be done. So that's all I have to say. I'm saying it out loud.
Not London pulling on me real quick.
I saw one day and I was like, you're gonna show. I'm glad that you're gonna. Someone. Actually, we're gonna move on. Let
Come on,
me,
London Bradshaw speaks. Come on,
let
sis.
me settle down real quick. Someone has sent me a tweet that someone was actually. You know what? I'm just gonna move on. I'm gonna move on.
Oh,
Well, but
Okay,
before
so-
we move on, wait, no, but before we move on, just to quote Paris is Burning, we're not going to be shady, just fierce.
Okay, we're moving on. If you have things that involve Black education and Black history and you are not a person of color, please involve someone who is a person of color and let them talk about education, especially ballroom education, because that is something that white people should not be talking about.
Okay,
Yeah.
can I go off on one little thing about ballroom?
10
Okay.
seconds, Aphasia.
Okay,
10 seconds.
If
9.
you think all of ballroom is about Drag Race, you're fucking wrong. If you're
Okay.
if you think all about if you say death drop, it's not ballroom. It's called a dip, bitch. Go ahead and as problematic as the show is with the judging, go watch Legendary on HBO. That is all about ballroom. Go watch My House on Vice City Network. Watch that shit. Watch proper ballroom shit, because I tell you right now, this is the difference between lip syncing and doing a death drop as like a moment, and then just seeing someone do a full ass
shade.
floor routine, bitch. It is the hair whips, the hands, the duck walking. I can't. So just like, bitch, the videos are online. Okay,
The shade, I love it. I'm here for
go
it.
fucking watch. Okay, I'm done.
Okay,
Luke, I see
cool.
you out there. Luke, I see you, Luke. Okay, I'm just saying.
Luke is about to have a meltdown in chat right now.
Get
Okay,
over, Luke. We
Jazzy
gotta
Jazz. Jazzy Jazz asks, how do I ask this question mark? So my GF is light, and I already encountered the question of what race is she from my mom. How do I prevent that from happening with other family members? Do I just say she's African American, or is this something else I can say to get the point across that she doesn't have to be mixed with anything to be the skin tone that she is? Do we need to repeat the question? It's also in the colorism panel section of the Discord if you want to go read it yourself, if I did not clearly ask that.
No, that is a really good question.
No,
a
that's
very
an amazing
sensitive subject,
question.
too.
I don't think it's a bad question. I think it's an amazing question of how to ask, because it's hard dating white people, because I don't want to go to someone's family to be like, I don't want to go to someone's family and be like, well, what are you? I'm like, I'm a
Oh my
motherfucking
God.
experience. What do you think I am?
We see the TikTok. We see the TikTok, London.
Are you a boy or are you a girl? Who wants to answer that question? Let's get Jazzy Jazz some information of how, or anybody else in the chat, some information of how they can go about asking that question. Anyone?
I think.
Go ahead.
Working on it.
Go ahead.
We're
No,
working on
you
it.
go ahead.
We're thinking of ways to say it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when it comes to family, like you almost have to have that conversation because you know how families could be. They do this, and maybe you just got to talk to that one aunt, or maybe it might be your mama. We ain't gonna talk about that, but like you just got to tell the right person, like, you know what? Yeah, they're a little bit lighter than me, or yeah, they're darker than me, and they might be from another country. But like, how's it your business? Like I'm always like, baby, you need to mind your business. So you almost have, like, when it comes to family, you almost have to have that conversation because that's a different dynamic. It's different when you're speaking to like a friend or I don't know, but when it's family, like you almost just have to have that conversation and let them know, like, if we're coming to a function or whatever, like, and you know who you're inviting or whatever, like, let these people know, like, that's not a question that should be talked over dinner or drinks or all that stuff. Like, if they want to know, like, they should get to know the person and let that organically come up in conversation.
But I'm also, and this is problematic or not, but I'm also in the realm of like, if you are dating someone, so let's say you are a white person dating someone of color, do not just bring your significant other over on surprise and it's like, oh, by the way, my family doesn't know that you're black. Like, as a person of color, I need to prepare myself that they know who I am. Because if I walk in there and everyone's like, oh, you're the boyfriend? No, we're not doing that. We're not doing this.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's very
it's like, why are you hiding me away? Are you ashamed? It's something that you know about your family beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the first, like, the amount of times we should be seeing that shit in movies and like TV shows is just astounding. It's like, oh, for the shock factor to like drive some kind of drama in the family. Fuck that shit. Fuck, I'm not doing it. We're not. It's like, you let them know when we first started dating and we're making this official. If I'm gonna meet your family, let them know that I am black, I am a loud, and I'm a fat bitch. Okay, I need that to be known immediately.
Yeah,
a very similar story ended my last relationship. I was sitting at the dinner table because he's white, and I was sitting at the dinner table, and the first thing out of his mother's mouth was, "Do you speak Ebony?" And I was like, I have a degree in English.
Where's my knife at? Hold on.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is the closest thing to me. How?
I was like, we're done here. I'll see you in the car. Like, yeah, that actually happened.
Literally, there are so many black people in chat right now that are just like, excuse me? Speak what?
So who are we fighting?
Black people in this chat. I'm drunk. Melanie Confetti says, drop a name, I want to talk. Avidius515 said, people only ask that question because they want to use their prejudices.
Beyonce. Beyonce.
We all just want to talk with a knife in our hand. I felt the rage of the ancestors well up inside. Not DJ saying I felt the rage of the ancestors well up inside.
Not the rage, but sometimes.
You just imagine TJ sitting in their chair just be like this, ancestors, I call upon thee! Like, blasting all the white people at dinner. Could you imagine? Oh, anyways.
And that's how we got our superpowers as black people. It takes one extra racist moment to be like, ah!
TJ said, Ebon back! Ebon back! Oh my gosh. Chalora, can we get a time check of how much time we have left, please? And thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, so moving right along.
I don't think I ever answered their question though, but I'm just like,
did we answer the question?
I don't know. Like,
well, I mean, I can do a very similar life experience as my SO currently is much lighter than I, and bringing them home to my mom, they're like, "What color is it?" I was like, "Mom, it
Not
doesn't
what color
matter."
is
What
it?
color is
Oh my
it?
god.
They
Not
keep confusing it.
that.
They identify as Black, even though they're very fair skinned.
Mhm.
And like my family still is kind of closed, well, some of them, not all of them. They're still kind of closed minded. So they're like, "What color is he? The last guy you had was white." And, I'm like, it doesn't matter, what color he is, me or to you. But if you would like to know that, sit down and ask. It's okay to ask. Just don't be rude about it.
And there's this way to ask without saying, "What race are you?" Like
Exactly. Like, hey,
like okay, so like
just because he's
like,
fair skinned doesn't mean that he's any less Black than you.
yeah.
Do
Yeah.
not
So-
deny their heritage. Just
Like, okay,
because.
How many people? This is a very off-topic question, but how many people watched Jordan Peele's Get Out and never wanted to date a white person again after?
Oh, bitch! I literally said no more white people. I'm not doing it.
I have
I
to
said
be
I
honest.
can't.
It's like I have to be honest. My boyfriend is white, and it's funny because like I don't know his family like in person, but like after watching like Get Out, I'm like, this is gonna be weird.
You said so.
like,
I'm
like-
on my guard.
She's like, "We live in the middle of nowhere in a forest."
I'm
Nuh-uh.
keeping my
Oh,
phone and
yeah.
an external charger on me. Okay.
I'm passing on
like-
this one.
Do we
I'm
think
like,
that? Go ahead, Hermaftina. Sorry.
yeah, I'm like, let me send the location to every Black person in here because
No,
I said, drop the pin, bitch. I'm all the way in the U.S., but drop that pin so I can tell authorities somewhere where to
Yes.
find you.
Girl, you're trying
Yes.
to set us all up. Not with that.
How many people do you think? So this is just a question. I'm asking questions not about colorism. Do you think that movie, not like necessarily like colorism, but do you think that movie had, what was the meaning of that movie in its sense? Do you think there was colorism involved? A little, slightly, a bit, like a little bit, like
I would,
because there's
like a little bit in there.
not too much though, right?
Yeah, but because if you remember during the auction part, like not the auction part, like the
That's what I'm exactly asking that question for. Do you think there was
Yeah.
colorism? Because that auction part, that
Yes.
got me. So
yes, because so like if no one knows has not seen the movie before, go fucking watch the movie. Jordan Peele, Get Out, and Us are fantastic. Okay.
Oh my god,
They're
yes.
phenomenal.
And so there's like the pre-auction part where the party was happening and they were asking all these like very intrusive questions like how big is his dick? Like that's
yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But it was treated like exactly like how they would auction off Black people way back in the day. When I say way back in the day, it's only a couple hundred years. Let's be fucking real. Okay.
Yeah.
This country is not that old. We are babies compared to the rest of the fucking world. And so that's how it was treated. And like I really feel like casting Danny, I can never say his last name, who played the main character in there, as a dark man, and like these people still like bidding on him, where I was like, oh, he's a dark man. And I think, because I said this earlier, they thank God that they got a dark person to play this character, because they could have done it with a light skinned person, and I don't think it would have had the same impact for me personally. So like, I don't think like the colorism it was there, but most of the cast when they were Black people were dark skinned people.
So now that we've opened the room and we have 25 minutes left, I wanted to talk about a little bit of media content in Hollywood. Does colorism happen in Hollywood? And why? And like,
completely.
yes, but like, what kind of things have we noticed about colorism in Hollywood? For those who don't know, in the chat, I want to explain that colorism is a thing in Hollywood. They cast darker people, like, and you could say it. It's a great movie, and people might hate me in chat, but colorism is a huge thing in Black Panther, because there are different, not like a superhero thing, like not huge, but like there were different areas of Black people in that movie, and each area was a different color of Black. And I'm like, could we have just mixed it up a little instead of being like, number 5, I need you to go to the mountains. Number 6, go to the grass plains, please.
Not
all right, those are where the
that.
extras are going. Like, what do we think about colorism? What are like some things that you see about colorism in Hollywood and media content, movies, artists, music, anything like that?
Immediately, what comes to mind is Fresh Prince when they got a new Aunt Viv. They traded out the original. If anyone hasn't seen the Fresh Prince reunion, it's fucking fantastic. They talk to her. Will talks to her. So Will's the one that got her fired because because she was pregnant at the time. He kept calling her aggressive because she wasn't getting exactly what she needed to get done. She's like, I need these things as an actress. She held that show together. When she did that dance thing, where she was like in like that pink one, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, fucking love the Fresh Prince. And like they got rid of her because Will Smith was like, I don't want her around anymore. She's being aggressive. And as a dark woman in Hollywood, to get fired from a show that is so huge and more than the sum of its parts at the time is heartbreaking. My mom is a dark person. My mom's dark skinned. And I vividly remember like watching the show and seeing a Black mother on screen that looked like her. Because you can say whatever you want about like the Huxtables. I'm not gonna say his name, but like Felicia Richard, she's lighter skinned. And so when you see a powerful dark skinned woman, and she was a lawyer too. No, was she a lawyer? I forgot what she did. No, he was a judge. She did something else. I can't remember what she did. Doctor, maybe? I can't remember. But and then she left, and then she got replaced by a light skinned woman because she came off less aggressive and more matronly. I noticed that, and they've made a joke about it on the show, and that stuck with me to this day. I still talk about it. And then when the Fresh Prince reunion came around, like during Thanksgiving last year, I think, I watched with my friend, and I cried at that section because it was so heartbreaking to hear her side of the story because no one has heard her side of the story. And so, like, if you like Fresh Prince, go watch at least that section of the reunion, and then you can stop watching. Well, that one, and then with Uncle Phil, that part also got me too. But like, whatever. Okay, I'm done. That's my thing right now. Because
anybody else?
Well,
I saw
for me-
Milady. Go ahead.
Actually, that's Milady Confetti. So it's something where I was like, yes, baby, the Zendaya effect. That like, okay,
I love Zendaya though.
but so do I. I love Zendaya.
love
She's
her.
everything. But like,
Yes.
I need to see a little bit more chocolate, baby.
Mhm.
What like, well, how come we're not getting our deeper skinned women up in here? Like,
Mhm.
we're seeing a lot of girls that look like Zendaya and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but like, I need more chocolate, baby. I want to see my women thrive, not just the light skinned girls. It used to be like that with the men, but then we got like Taye Diggs.
Where the hell Taye Diggs at?
I think he's doing Broadway or something. I don't know. But I'm
Okay.
saying, and that's back like to me in the 90s was more the light skinned men. But like now there's more darker skinned men. But now I feel like we're in that same period with Black actresses. They're still more in the light skin, and you're not seeing as many dark skinned Black
all the Zendayas,
actresses.
the Kerry Washingtons.
Yeah.
It's like Viola Davis is probably one of the darker skinned actresses that I know. Like that's working and active, and it's like, where's everyone else? Like Whoopi Goldberg's keeping the View together because those hosts can't do shit without Whoopi
I don't even want
Goldberg.
to go on that. Yeah.
So even like the talk, how like Lonnie is the only one of dark skin on that panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they don't give Lonnie enough justice because Lonnie, once again, is like the heart of that show. Without her, it would be a piece of shit.
Ooh, yes, Gabourey Sidibe.
Gabourey Sidibe. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Who else has any ideas about
Well, my opinion about especially like Hollywood stuff with colorism is that most of the time when they try to like involve like light skin, dark skin, everyone, the dark skin characters are always the bad ones, or like always the villain-esque kind of character, and like the light skin one is like the sweet mother, perfect, like the perfect example. I love Pose, like I fucking love Pose. But when you see Pose, it's always the same. Like the dark skin characters, like Electra, she's like out there, she's like raging all the time. She's just, and then
Candy.
you have Candy, which is also like they can control her. She's very aggressive. She's this, and then you have Blanca, which is lovely and the mother and beautiful. And we see the same type of character with Viola Davis. I am obsessed with Viola Davis, like obsessed.
Me
But
too.
all of her shows or characters, because she is the only I would say the only dark skin actress out there, like the most famous one. All of her like characters are very like strong and like in a way that it's not a villain, but it's also like almost like as if she doesn't have the same feelings as the rest of the people. Or like she always gets to the point that she's so tired where like she explodes, and that's when like she starts crying and stuff. But like most of her characters are always like the super strong woman or like very aggressive one and stuff. But it's because like whenever they put out there like a dark skin character, they just imagine like, oh, they're just aggressive and they're just like too much and this. So it's like they always picture the villainous story with the dark character, and that part is like get it right. If you're gonna do it, just get it right. Like it has one thing has nothing
On
to do
top of
with the
that
other.
as well.
Yeah.
Going into that, the first thing I immediately thought of was Avatar: The Last Airbender. Whereas if you've seen the actual show, it's amazing. It's pretty diverse. You have Katara, Toph, Sokka, Aang, Zuko. You have everybody. And then it went to the movies. And everybody is fair-skinned except the bad guys.
Yep.
Except the bad guys who have dark skin, and I'm guessing they're based in India.
I think that they're like Indian, like
Which
in the movie,
which makes no sense because the Fire Nation was clearly based off of Japanese cultures, but they didn't want to do that.
No.
And it just, yeah, that's what it made me think of, colorism in Hollywood. That and Straight Outta Compton was also like that, but
yeah. I do agree with loving Viola Davis, but Kara made a really good point that in How to Get Away with Murder, she played the villain no matter what. She was the villain. She was the dark black-skinned villain. She was an alcoholic. She was the person who was pushing all these other people into like believing, like she was like, you wanted to root for her because she's Viola Davis and Viola Davis is iconic. But like it was hard to root for her in that show because she was a negative.
Fuck that. I was rooting for her every
Oh,
I
no,
was
I
like,
was rooting for
you
her
better
too.
get your coins, bitch.
But
Because
like they make you
two kids up here.
They make you feel like you shouldn't root for her, but I'm like,
Exactly.
no, that is Viola Davis. So like, you know what I mean? But Viper, anything you want to add to this before we wrap it up? Any media?
Well, here's the thing. I don't really watch movies, so I'm like slightly a little behind.
That's fine.
But
Any music, any other TV shows?
I definitely do agree that a lot of Black women are definitely casted as the bad guy, and it's just very unfortunate. Or also there being a lack of diversity, because there's always either like one light-skinned person and then everybody else is just like white, and I'm just like, why? Where's the diversity? They claim to be diverse, but one lightly toasted person is not, oh, we're diverse. Like, I hate that.
Love that.
Can I just say that I love you? That I love you.
I love how you always say one lightly toasted person. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm a little toasty, and I was like, not this.
I am toasty.
You are. You're so cute too. I love it.
Everybody, please follow Viper. They just graduated. Icon legend. I think the one thing that makes me upset is when I'm a drag artist. I don't know if you all know, but I do drag. I think I should try it sometime. If you don't know, I'm really working on it. If anybody has any tips, Hermaphrodita, let me know. But when I go to a gig, and I love rock. I love rock music. I love poppy. I love Grimes. I love like in this moment, just this music.
That weird shit. I love that.
The weird stuff. And I love wearing mohawks. I love wearing like Willow Smith. Like Willow Smith is doing rock now. But like when I go to a gig and they're like, oh, you must be Black, so you're doing a dancing number. Like Kennedy Davenport bucking and like throwing your wig around. I'm like, no, girl, I'm doing System of the Down tonight. Like,
Okay.
they're like, oh,
Yes.
oh, you are? And I'm like, yeah, because Black people like rock too. Not us all. We don't all listen to hip hop. You know what I mean?
You're like, and that's just my opening.
Yeah,
Get
that's just
it.
my opening number. So like, just because like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that they're problematic, but like, I love Marilyn Manson. I love System of the Down, and I love performing that. And I love going out there and being like, oh, she gonna do a dancing number tonight, and I'm like, ah! Like in your face, like screaming, like you know what I mean, like demi-doggy status. So it's just like, what are we even like? Why do you think that I'm gonna like
like my.
That part, my lady confetti. Thank a Black woman for rock and roll. Whoa!
Exactly. Like my first couple of digital drag numbers, my second one ever was a Paramore number, and then I just recently did an Avril Lavigne number. Like
that's also
bitch,
a choice for that.
and also, well, hold on.
Yeah.
It was that song. It was that song. Just kidding. But like,
ma'am,
I saw this on TikTok, and I fully believe it's like Paramore is for Black people. Like, I don't know what it is, but it just feels Black. And I was like, I love Hayley Williams so fucking much, and I would do everything to protect it. You know. But
well,
like,
if you love Hayley Williams, you should listen to Will Smith's new song. Sounds just like Paramore.
I already
and
have.
now we have a Black icon supporting us in the Paramore world. Thank you so much, Willow.
Thank you so much.
But I
I've
think
been a
like,
Willow stand since I with my hair back and forth, girl. You don't gotta tell me.
to be honest, she didn't want to release that song, but that's another subject. She did not want to release that.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up a little bit. But I want to hear from us. I think we have like 2, maybe 5 minutes. Again, exclamation point reparations in chat if you want to pay these panelists, or you think that Black people need to deserve reparations for the education that we are giving you here today.
You should.
Oh, we have 10 minutes. Perfect. Any last words, Blaxican?
Okay, actually, I had a question for you, London. So we were on the topic of like Hollywood or just media in general. How did you feel about the announcement of the new Little Mermaid?
One, I am upset that they are just starting filming this year. I thought that this was already a solved situation. I'm not too educated on it personally. I just hope that they do it correctly. And I hope that they like don't. Disney's racist.
100%.
Disney's racist. And I just like, I think that the twins, they're not twins, they're sisters, right?
They're sisters.
Yeah.
Sisters.
The sisters are
Like
gonna
my
do.
eyebrows.
What'd you say?
I said like my eyebrows.
Not
Same
bad.
bestie, same bestie.
The way that stung so hard.
Yeah, they're sisters, but I just hope that they do a good job. I hope they book. I hope it's Black. I just hope it's Black. Like if it's gonna be Black, it needs to be Black. I hope it's just not like the Zendaya effect, and I hope it's not like. I hope that they like do the right thing. But I also just like. I really like. I don't know how to say this. Like, I know that. Aphasia's gonna have a lot of things to say after I say this comment because Aphasia loves Little Mermaid stuff. But Ursula's a Black woman. Like,
yes.
But I hope that they just like do Ursula right in that movie.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Who plays Ursula?
Like,
but who's gonna like the one who's gonna play is not Black.
She's Melissa motherfucking McCarthy.
She's gonna be Ursula.
That's right.
She's playing Ursula. Look, okay, I'm showing you right. Look at this little Ursula sticker right here, bitch. Okay, I love this bitch. And when I found out that it wasn't a Black drag artist, I said I gotta fucking go because
you know who would have been a
designed after Divine. Like
designed after Divine, and you could have gave it to if it's like a big Black woman, you should have gave it to a drag artist, aka Latrice motherfucking Royale.
100%. And I'm just like, okay, cool. The reason I started doing drag was because I saw Latrice on Drag Race. I was like, this person looks like me.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what I want to do because now I see someone who looks at, which is why representation is fucking powerful. like Latrice and dark-skinned black person. If I could see them on the big screen playing a huge part in a fucking Disney movie, slaying the house down boots with Poor Fortunate Souls. If you guys don't know, when people raid me, that's a song that motherfucking plays. Okay, I love her so much, and just like I'm excited for the movie. Daveed Diggs, who was in Hamilton, is playing Sebastian. I'm like, okay, work. We can get through this. I'm not too like I'm here for it. Like all these Disney live action things, I'm like, I'll watch. They're probably gonna be high camp and stupid. I'll like it at some points, but you know, it's like whatever at the end of the day. But,
it did break my heart, to be honest with you, that no one was happy about the black women being little like Ariel. You know what I mean? Like someone was like,
anything else?
This, because we can say this word in a way, but like they're like, this N-word is gonna be Ariel. They need to be white. And I'm like, oh my God.
She's
I was like,
a mermaid. She's not even
she's
real.
a mermaid.
She's a
She's like,
fictional character.
she's a fictional character.
Not
like,
real.
when they announced last year, because I think Milady is right, when it did get delayed because of COVID, when they announced last year that is it Hallie? It's Hallie, right?
Yeah.
Or is it Chloe? It's Hallie. When Hallie got the cast, and people went ape shit crazy because she was going to be the Little Mermaid, and they were pissed. And I was like,
fucking
why?
pissed.
Thank God. You know what I mean? But that's how I feel about it.
And here we have like people, when Black Panther came out, they said, but what if he was white? The literal whole point of Black Panther is that he's black and lives in Africa. Why are you whitewashing this character? That's literally their backstory. This is, I forgot what it's called, but if you can write a script have your main character, you don't know what their race is at all. If their race does not come into play in the storyline, they don't have to be white. They can be whatever you want. Don't make them white.
Yeah. I think that was
integral to the plot, and that's a different story, but like whatever.
If they literally like the comics, and there was I don't know if y'all know, but there was a Black Panther cartoon like way back in the day. They removed it off Netflix because I think the movie was coming out. But like I watched the cartoon, I read the comics, and like that made me find myself in my blackness in drag, because I was like, I'm gonna do this rock thing, and then this whole cinematic Marvel movie came out where you could just do whatever, and I was like, I am gagged. But people were like, this movie needs to be for white people, and I'm like, let us have this movie. Let us have this movie, please. Yeah. You have every other movie. Let us have this one. You know what I mean? Like, you get every other white person. You get Thor. Let us have Black Panther. Let me have Michael B. Jordan.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Speaking of Thor, how Idris Elba got cast as Heimdall, people went apeshit for that too. Also, we're talking about Idris Elba, another beautiful black, dark-skinned man.
That man literally stepped on me, and I'm okay with it.
Yes.
We open up my Bifrost Bridge right now. So it's okay.
We have a couple minutes left. So I just want to make sure that we can. I appreciate everybody talking. I know we like went a little bit off track. Colorism is colorism. Racism in the Black community. Just a heads up that the streamers here on Twitch, there are Black streamers here on Twitch and people of color here on Twitch. It's not just the ones you see consistently. Support every Black artist, every POC artist on Twitch. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I could have went a little bit more, but I'm going to reel it back a little bit. You know, I don't want that purple. I don't want that purple check mark getting taken away. My name's not Krusty the Krab. But we are going to go around the circle really quick and tell everybody I said it. We're going to go around the circle a little bit and say who we are, where we can find us, and what is one thing that we want to acknowledge to people really quickly before we go. I'll start with Blackskin.
You can find me again here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Blackskin02. And something I want everybody to leave from this is just a little bit of education. Now that you've got to hear either the whole conversation or even if you just popped in for a little bit, I just want you to take something away from this, because that'll help us all be better as individuals to then become better as a group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Viper. Meow. Viper. My little toasty.
Not bad.
Not toasty.
Hello, I am Z Lightly Toasted. You can find me on twitch.tv/ViperK. And you can find me on Instagram with Izokai with 2 eyes.
Not the lightly toasted.
The lightly toasted.
I love that.
I'm keeping it coming.
Yes, please
Not
do.
that.
She keeping it toasty, okay?
Yes.
Aphasia, where can we find you besides
Yelling into the void about something
Yeah.
that I'm passionate about, which is my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Aphasia Speak. I run the Speakeasy, a little hideaway place here on Twitch. And what people take away is, stop vilifying dark-skinned people. Like, we're not the villains. We are I don't want to say we're victims, but like we have been victims even in our own communities for a very long time. People look at us and think that because we're dark, we're stupid, or like something else, or like whatever. Also, stop objectifying dark-skinned people as well as like sexually or whatnot. I'm tired of that. Don't call me dark chocolate. Please don't do that. That you know what? Don't call me out of my name, bro, or dark chocolate. I'm adding that one too because I cannot.
Not this.
Not me saying just earlier.
Anyway, I'm done.
Queen Cup, the TikToker cosplayer of the century.
Oh Lord. Hi guys, I'm Queen's Cup Cosplay. You can find me on Twitch / Queen's Cup Cosplay, or you can find me on TikTok and Instagram under the same name. And the one thing that I want you guys to take away is just remember to have an open mind and an open heart when approaching subjects like this. Don't always have like a one-sided view. Try to always see from every perspective and then make your own decision at the end of it.
Yeah. And then last but not least, the amazing, the talented, the beautiful, I cannot stand how pretty you look, London Bradshaw. Just kidding, hermaphrodita. Just kidding, hermaphrodita. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Bye. Oh my God,
Not the shade button. Not the shade button.
I got the shade button.
No, hermaphrodita, I love you so fucking much. You're an icon legend. So.
Thank you. Okay. Well, everyone, you can find me on Twitch and all of my social medias at her_Hermaphrodita. And yeah, one of the things that I want you to take from this is to understand that race and ethnicity are complete different things. People can be Latino, can be black people come in different colors, shape, everything. Do not hesitate to ask the question. If you feel like interested, ask the question if you want, but do not disrespect people when you ask your questions. Just that.
Yeah. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all for being on this panel. Again, this is Juneteenth on the Stream Queens page. Thank you for the Stream Queens for letting us do this. If you don't know, it's a crossover kind of with Sisters of the Fog. We have a lot of Sisters of the Fog members and a lot of other amazing Black content creators here. Please don't sleep on Black people and people of color on Twitch because you never know when they're going to pop up. So, yeah, we're going to go. Up next, we have the 60 Babies hosting the mental health panel. And then I will be back for the gender diverse panel and the drag show tonight. So yeah, we appreciate everybody. Black Lives Matter, trans Black Lives Matters, we matter, and fucking pay us. And I'm gonna go. Thank you.
Oh, we leaving?
Bye,
Okay.
everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
The partner goes first. Bye.
Oh, we leaving. We really leaving.
Oh, okay. Bye.